Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we're going to be in a treat. You know how I love Prius and people that live in their Prius. We're going to meet Lester, who is living and traveling in your Prius.
Yes.
And so, how did you end up in a Prius?
Well, about 2.5 years ago, we were looking at going full-time RVing, and then unfortunately my wife passed away, so I had to come up with a different option. And I had the Prius, and I saw your builds on your channel, and it gave me the inspiration to, throw some containers in it and a mattress and take off. It's evolved over time and gotten better, and it's always a work in progress, but I really enjoy being out in God's country and just having a good time.
So, how long have you been in the Prius now?
2 years.
2 years in the Prius.
Yes.
And you haven't gone crazy yet. Or crazier.
No.
No?
Yeah, it's been a really good experience. I love the Eastern Sierras. Last year I discovered Southern Utah. It was just amazing. Just really enjoying myself being out in the wild with my 2 dogs.
Well, I'm really sorry about your loss of your wife. So you had just reached retirement age, and the two of you were going to travel.
Well, I'd become disabled in 2016 with an illness, and I had to retire, and so that gave me time to spend, with the wife full time, and so, once she passed away, there was, just had to look for a new option. Once my compass got straightened out, I just decided to hit the road because it really appealed to me.
And so I assume you probably had a house that you sold?
No, we were living in an apartment, so moved out of that, and being unhomed, I moved into my Prius.
Sure, why not?
So I get to couch surf with friends and family in different parts of the country, and that's always a fun thing to do. But I get itchy feet, and I gotta go. So I spend most of my time solo out in the wild, and this is my first Howa, so it's really great to be here and participate in what's going on.
That's it. It is, and there might be some healing going on too from the loss.
Absolutely.
I know for me that didn't just happen overnight. It was an ongoing thing.
Oh yeah.
So, but it's been good so far.
Excellent. I really had a good time. People, my friends and family are like, "What happens if this or that?" And I'm just, you just deal with it when it happens. And that hasn't been, my fears just don't keep me from enjoying myself and being part of life and interacting and doing the things I want to do.
Now, I bet for 99% of the people watching this, and you're not a short guy.
Nope.
And the Prius is not an enormous car.
Nope.
And it seems like those two would not work well.
People can't believe that a guy that's 6'1" can fit in a Prius, and it isn't a queen size bed at the hotel, but I fit, and that's what counts. And I saw that on your videos, and I said, I got in there and laid the mattress out and laid down, and I said, yeah, this will work. And I just went with it.
Well, you had a lot of choices. You could have, you and your wife were probably going to go in an RV.
Yeah, we were shopping and looking at RVs, and that was, going to be the plan, but plans change.
So you had a blank slate. You could have gone in anything you wanted.
Right.
And there's disadvantages to a Prius.
Yes.
So the advantages must have been very strong.
Well, it was paid for.
That's a good one.
And I fit in it, and it gets great gas mileage. And then the climate control system, you can leave it operating. So, if it's 100 degrees outside, I'm comfortable. If it's 30 degrees outside, I'm comfortable. And that's hard to beat on, with the fuel economy that the car has.
When you just think of it as a great big rolling generator, and
yes,
that solves a lot of
I
problems.
don't have to carry a generator. I have an inverter. I can boil water, cook food, charge up my electric bike battery, and so I'm self-sufficient.
Right. Yeah, it has the pluses of the Prius are pretty enormous. The power, the fuel mileage, and like I've always said, it's a trade-off of comfort and freedom, and you give up quite a bit of comfort. But boy, you gain an awful lot of freedom.
Well, I've had it lifted, so it gets a little more ground clearance than the average Prius, and it lets me get a little bit farther off the road than it normally would be able to. Right. And so I do a lot of overlanding, and it's a big plus, and especially with the mileage.
I bet a whole lot of people come in their big four-wheel drives and UTVs and ATVs, and they're back in the middle of nowhere, and there's a guy in a Prius. It's just, huh?
Yeah,
What happened?
it's a little.
Is this the Twilight Zone?
Yeah, I do surprise a few four-wheelers. Of course, if they need a pull out, they're in trouble. But
yeah, you're not going to pull a lot.
But yeah, I go in a lot of places that most people are afraid to go in a Prius.
Looks like you have a little larger tire.
Yeah, taller tire, and I've raised the suspension up, so I've got about 4 extra inches of ground clearance than a normal Prius.
Oh, that's amazing, because she can. And so after the 2 years of being in the Prius, has it been good?
It's been really good.
Really
you know,
good.
I mean, I just get to see so many great places, you know. The Eastern Sierras have been fun. I go visit friends and family up in Oregon and Washington, and we go camping and fishing and hiking. And I get to take my bike to, you know, cycling events and enjoy those. And I have a platform on the bicycle that the dogs ride on, so, you know, they get to participate along with me on the bike rides.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And after 2 years, would you, is there anything you don't like? That you wish, this isn't so good?
I can't see a whole lot of downside. I mean, sometimes there's that having to be alone that's can be challenging. But you know, and early on I thought, am I really going to do this? But you know, I learned how to stay warm. I learned how to feed myself, and you know, how not to run out of water. And you know, it's just really easy to do. So you know, and I love being outdoors. You know, that far outweighs any shortcomings. So I'm going to be doing it until I can't.
Right. Right. Sounds wonderful. Okay, so there are a lot of people out there who are watching this and thinking to themselves, I don't know that I can do that. I don't see how I could do that. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
You know, the first for me was a no-build, right? So it wasn't difficult. Go try it, right? So many people are, you know, wait and dream for the ideal vehicle to go in, and they don't go, you know, and I know the clock's ticking for me. So if I'm not waiting. So you know, use what you have and then work towards what you want. You know, when the wheels fall off of this thing, I'll probably get the RAV4, you know, all-wheel drive hybrid, because you know it's what I think would be ideal for my situation.
Right. Get all the advantages and plus.
Yes. So
yeah, that'd be wonderful.
But run with what you have right now.
Well, I like the idea of that. What you said was just do a no-build and go try it.
Right.
You know, just kind of put your toe in the water.
Absolutely. You know, because if it isn't for you, you haven't spent a lot of money, and you know you can, you know, retreat. But
and for you, you were in an apartment, so if it wasn't for you, you can always get another apartment.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
You had really nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah, and I just needed to get out and be, you know, find some peace in the wilderness, and I have found that.
Good. That's really wonderful. So Lester, would it be all right if we took a look at your rig? I'm sure it'll take a long time, but we've got time.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's go take a look, folks. All right, so tell us all about your Prius.
Well, it's a 2012. It's got 140,000 miles on it, and it's been a good car. Gets great mileage, and takes me wherever I want to go.
Yeah, what really stands out is the big tires you've got on.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. That's the biggest you can put on this setup, but it gives you quite a bit more ground clearance. So.
Right. And the lift, so that's just like...
yeah, there's a company that makes a lift kit for a Prius Overland, and it's an 1.5 inch lift kit. So that gives you the 1.5 inch, and you get the other couple of inches from the tires. So it makes it easy to go off-road.
It does look like the back one is awfully full. It doesn't rub. Well, it only goes up and down, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I haven't finished on the rear. I've got some spacers to put back there, and I'll probably put some airbags in the springs.
Right. So get the body up a little more.
Right, get the body level.
Okay. And why don't you just show us around?
Okay, I just added this box before coming out to courtside. I had a smaller box there, but I needed a little bit more room. With a Prius, you only have so much space inside, and you know, you've got to you either got to not take it or find a way to take it.
Right. This was a bike rack that you fabricated?
Yeah, well, the bike rack is a Swedish one, the Thule bike rack. And then it used to hold 2 bikes, but I don't have a need for 2 bikes anymore. So I added on this thing to hold my fishing poles, and then a little extension to hold my toolbox. And
There's your chair. So you
Right.
got your camp outside. And you probably just use this as a table.
It's a great place to cook.
That sure would
You
be.
know, I just set
Can't
up.
catch fire.
No. Yeah, so it's perfect for that. But
So you still say you're at 35?
Yeah.
The way you're loaded now?
Yep.
That's pretty stunning.
Yeah, especially at today's gas prices.
I can live with that.
Yeah. So in the back here is gives you kind of a view of what I do when I'm loaded. I've got clothing bags, something for the dogs, and this little spot holds the bins for food, and we just stretch out here. So these will come out and go on the front seat, and then I have this whole space to lay down in.
Okay, so this is emptied out for sleeping.
Right.
And daytime cooking.
Correct.
So you can see that's a lot of space.
So most of the cooking is in this one bin. And I have my little hot pot, my electric kettle, and that just sets up back here on my cooktop. And I have an extension cord connected to the inverter. And I can just plug in and either boil water or use my electric hot plate and cook whatever I need.
And what size is your inverter?
It's a 2,000 watt.
2,000. And so you built this little unit here.
Right, yeah, just cobbled together some plywood, and it holds 4 boxes. So I've got plenty of storage for foods and other needs.
And do the dogs sleep up on there at night?
Well, they're free to do that, but they usually sleep.
Just with you.
Yeah, the one sleeps under my armpit, and the other one sleeps on my feet. And
right.
We get it done.
Keeps you warm.
Yeah, 2-dog night.
2-dog night. And you've got a barrier between the front, so the dogs aren't while you're driving.
Right.
Storage up top. So you left in the front seat.
Oh, I took the front seat out.
out.
I put storage in, so I have a refrigerator, keep things cool, and little overhead bin for those nighttime things. And
do you sleep with you must sleep with your head up here?
Yeah, head's up here.
Towards the front.
Right. And I've tried it the other way, and it's not as good.
Looks a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, it can be in that direction.
Yeah.
And there's I put an extra battery underneath where the rear seat used to be, so I have 2 batteries. And
yeah, that's a great setup. That is a great setup.
I have a CPAP machine that I have to sleep with, so that was kind of an interesting thing to integrate.
And again, so it's all just down there.
Right.
You never have to move it. Just pull out the hoses and you're asleep.
It runs off of 12 volts, and I'm all set to go. I took out the front seat so I could get more storage, but I think I'm going to do a redesign and put the seat back in, put a little more storage towards the rear, and maybe not take as much stuff as I've been taking since. As you go, you figure out what you don't use after 3 or 4 times. Maybe you don't need to bring it.
Right.
Tools underneath the back seat's out. Carry 6 gallons of water in one jug, and I bring along 4 extra 1-gallon bottles.
So you got 10 gallons with you?
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and the one problem is bad weather.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because then you're inside.
Well, I do have the Habitant. I saw that on your video, so I can deploy that and still be inside and out of the weather. But yeah, rain is not a real enjoyable time because you get out into this muck and you're dragging it back into your home. Right. So, but we've managed to do all right.
35 miles a gallon is not that hard to just drive away.
That's the thing. Chase the good weather,
yeah.
Right? You don't have to put up with weather that's too hot or too cold or too wet.
Yeah.
And so I just love to, move on down the road.
One of the things people ask about and wonder about with the Prius is the battery pack, because inevitably they're going to have to be replaced. The drive battery pack?
Yes, it's a 200-volt battery that powers the electric motors in the vehicle. I just recently replaced mine because it started to malfunction. You can drive it without it because you have the internal combustion engine, but it affects your mileage. So I went ahead and spent the money and had it replaced, and it's good as new.
And do you mind if I ask how much that was?
It was $1,700.
Right, but when you think about all that's going to provide you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it boosted the mileage up. I was down in the 30s, 30 miles to the gallon with the weak battery, and I'm back up to 40 with, you know, a fresh battery. So.
And when you think about it, it's easy to spend $1,700 on solar.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people are spending $1,000 and up.
No, you've got no place for solar on this thing, so.
But this replaces it.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. You charge so efficiently while you're driving that basically it's just endless electricity.
It is. It's a rolling generator.
Yeah. Very, very good. Okay, so 2 questions I have to ask.
All right. Oh,
especially in a Prius. I'm sure you know where we're going. How do you go to the bathroom?
Well, I have a bucket and a bag, and I have a shovel. So, you know, whatever presents itself. And, you know, one of the biggest game changers for me, because last year I came out with a little pop-up changing tent and did my business in there. And, you know, in a 10-mile-an-hour wind, those pop-up tents are goners.
Yeah.
And so I found a thing called a shower toga, which you can wear around you, and it just lets you squat down and take care of your business. And it also allows me to change and actually shower outdoors, you know. And presto, you got pockets to handle your washing in here, and you're not, you know, visible to the public in places that shouldn't be visible. And, you know, you can take care of everything.
You sure can.
It's fine.
Wow, that's a completely new idea. Can you get it on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon or
so that's going to the bathroom.
Right.
And showering.
Same thing. Here's my shower, right? So I can strip down, and then I just take a 1-liter water bottle with a shower head on it, soap everything down, and I'm done, you know. Right. For the gals, of course, you want to wear it up here.
Right.
But, you know.
So, Lester, do you have any social media that you would like to remind people about?
Oh, yeah. I have one for my dog. It's on Instagram, and it's nomad.puppers.
Super. People should go check that out.
Yes.
Well, Lester, thank you so much for sharing your home with us. You've done an amazing job here. I really appreciate it. So, folks, I hope you've really been inspired just as much as I have been. Lester is just a perfect example of how to roll with life and make life as good as possible. So if you got anything out of this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.